Good morning, folks. It's the 11th of February, 6:45 a.m. 6:47 on this one. I was asked by Kim Carter today if I thought that a system was being deliberately kept north of California and kept from coming in and giving them the water they so desperately need. And I see that high pressure is being maintained across the Rocky Mountain area, which this time of year in winter I'd kind of expect that to be naturally a low pressure area because, well, cold air is low pressure. And I see high pressure all the way out to here and here. So this low does not stand a chance of coming down here because high pressure always moves toward low pressure, right? Cold always has hot move toward it. You see what I'm saying? It's just because you notice in something there's a relationship that hot air is always higher pressure than cold air, right? Okay, so now you can establish by looking at just basic maps like this what winds are going to be like, what's going to flow where. This is going to outflow this way. This is going to outflow that way. This, if that is this will come up toward that. If those two ridges are in place, it has to. So it'll be just dissipated. So I have to maintain heat here for that to keep going on. I have to maintain heat here. I'd expect to see pulsing. I'm going to bring it back to the beginning here. I'm really trying to hold this centered, folks. If I come out of line, please excuse me. To keep that up there, to keep feeding that. So I've got a high pressure dome actually over the North Pole that's being fed and held in place by installing cold air around it. So the cold air from here through upper level winds is being held there, and I'm going to show you these upper level winds now. I'm not going to flip my screen, but these are the highest level of winds I can have. So if I've got the lower level going in this way with hot air, right? So that's what I've got going on. I've got hot air coming up lower atmosphere this way. I've got the convection of bringing the cold air back down on top of it to be reheated, and I can get a cycle going, kind of like a loop. Yeah, a loop like that, coming like that from underneath. So I'm going to heat it, bring it in, melt, cools, bring it. Very interesting, as I did check the temperatures out too, and it's definitely like it's like an air conditioning system. You know, there's no other way to put it. Right, and so that's what those winds look like. I'm going to come back over to here and let you actually see the winds. Bring it back over to the United States. Try to hold center for y'all. So you do got, even the winds are telling the same tale. Clockwise around the high, right? Counterclockwise around the low in the northern hemisphere. Yes. So Kim, I'm going to answer your question right now. Yes, I see the high pressure deliberately installed to do a couple things. It's causing a drought here, which might not be a bad thing right now with all that Fukushima radiation streaming over. And the wind's naturally trying to carry things to y'all. It's definitely protecting the sands of the breadbasket. And that's something that needs to be considered. But the goal of melting the poles that has been stated for years and years in newspapers and this for the trade routes to be opened up here is definitely in full wham. And I find these winds here to be very interesting. And when you zoom them out, there's a definite ridge. There's a moment here of heat going on where something real hot is outflowing. You can see that over Greenland, right? So I'd say there is some deliberate heating going on there because this is wintertime. This should be cold. So yes, I'm going to answer your question. Yes, Kim, I do think that weather is deliberately being manipulated to keep storms away. And I'll let you see your weather forecast a bit now. I'll leave you with that. This is the weather plan for this week. That's the rain. Here's my favorite graphic. Here's the clouds. This is the cloud plan for this week. Set. So the clouds are planning to get to the coast. Not much of them are planning on coming over. Seems to be dissipating as they hit this area of high pressure. They'd have to. They would just have to. It would just go away. And as you can see, what I'm calling that conveyor all the way up to the North Pole, taking that warm air up there, melting the globe up there, raising sea levels, so that I guess the charts match what they're saying about all this global warming, climate change. Is, you know what? Climate changes from minute to minute here in England. We've known that forever here. Well, all the locals tell you that. And anyhow, there's your week. I hope that answered your question, Kim. Peace.